Okay, I think we're underway. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 2026 Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. The 2026 Induction Night will feature an induction of a number of athletes, builders, teams, and a special merit award winner as well. At this time, we would like to congratulate all of our inductees. Let's hear it for our inductees. Congratulations. There will be some great videos as the night goes on, and I'm sure some very warm memories already in the room tonight. So again, we thank you for your attendance, and especially for those that are with an inductee, thank you for your support, not just tonight, but through their athletic careers or through their careers of building an endeavor, be it bowling or whatever it happened to be. So again, thank you to one and all. We also want to thank our caterer tonight, Tim and Sarah. Can we have a nice thank you for Tim and Sarah and their staff? And finally, once again, in your program, you can see the names, but we'd like to thank our committee members who put this excellent night together. Let's hear it for our committee members for the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. To get things started tonight, very briefly, we would like to call on Mayor Ian Boddy, briefly, to come up and make a couple of brief remarks. Please welcome the Mayor of the City of Owen Sound. This is Ian Boddy.
On my first day of kindergarten, just a very quick greetings to everyone here from the city of Owen Sound. It's always a great night, and it's great to see so many people here, the room full. Congratulations to the committee that works their buns off between, and don't throw them, between events and all the Hall of Fame inductees that are here. Way back when, this was started with the idea that great athletes make great citizens. And when you look at the list of inductees tonight, it continues to be true. Some pretty cool people on that list that have done very well in their lives after they're done being athletes or being builders. And that's a big part of being involved in sports, is learning how to work with others, learning how to work when you don't win and getting over it and moving forward. So sports is pretty important in our community, and it does build great citizens. So congratulations to everybody. Thank you to the nominators, to all the families, and everyone that's here. Is that short enough? I can fill another 10 minutes.
You know, it's a shame you're not running again. You know, you just got better and better at the speeches. Can we have a nice hand for the outgoing mayor of Owen Sound, Ian Boddy? I don't care what this table was saying, Ian. You've done a good job. So now I know it took you 12 years to get anything done, but still, congratulations to Ian Boddy. Our next speaker, briefly, will be the MPP who was slagged earlier today. Please welcome Paul Vickers, our MPP for Bruce Grey, Owen Sound.
Thanks, Fred, and I appreciate the introduction. It is tough when you're still the new guy, and hopefully after 12 years, maybe I'll be more recognizable than like Ian is. So I do want to bring greetings from the province to everybody. You know, the list of people up here and the teams that are up here, you know, they all deserve a great round or a great amount of congratulations. You know, you do bring a lot to a community, and when a community has a team to look up to, they really appreciate it. It creates excitement inside the community to watch their local hometown men and women go on and do well. So I think it's really important that it's not just Owen Sound's teams, it's the surrounding areas, whether it be Georgian Bluffs or Meaford or Chatsworth, Katy, Desborough. They've all had a little bit of a hand in all these great teams here. So I just want to say congratulations to them. And I think we, like you said, it takes the parents. So think about everybody that's been an athlete here. Somewhere along the line, they had a mother and a father that pushed them and supported them all the way through those young years of watching games, whether it be in the cold arenas or out in the diamonds, underneath the sun. So I think we should remember all the parents that we're parents of all these great people up here. So congratulations.
Thank you very much, Paul. One of the beauties of sports are stunning upsets, and I'm still shocked that you lost to Ross Kentner as mayor of Meaford. But still, Paul, congratulations. You're doing a great job as MPP. I don't care what Ross is saying. All right. Once again, our procedure tonight, we will call a member of the committee to come up and welcome our inductee into the Sports Hall of Fame. When the inductee is announced, there will be a very quick video, and our thanks to Rogers Television, Mark Perry, especially for putting these together and doing the labor to put these videos together. And then following the video, the athlete, or during the video, the athlete, builder, or team are to make their ways to the front, and there will be a brief announcement or a brief thank you and welcome. And again, the key word there is brief. First of all, please welcome from the committee, from the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee, Sharon McKechnie. Sharon will be welcoming our first athlete to be inducted tonight. Congratulations to Tyler Andrew Gibbons. Lacrosse and minor hockey in the city of Owen Sound. In fact, in minor lacrosse, he was a member of a Midget C Provincial Lacrosse Championship team. After minor days, he would go on to play both junior hockey and junior lacrosse in the city of Owen Sound. In 2005, he was drafted by the Toronto Rock of the National Lacrosse League. He was the Rock's first pick, 15th overall. His lacrosse rights went to San Jose, then to the Edmonton Rush, and finally to the Barrie Blizzard of the Canadian Semi-Pro Lacrosse League. Tyler Gibbons, after 18 years of playing pro, made the commitment to stay in his hometown of Owen Sound. He went on to play many seasons with the Owen Sound North Stars in Senior B Lacrosse and was a member of 2 President's Cup championship teams. He also served captain of the Junior B North Stars and the Senior B team. Congratulations to our first inducted athlete, Tyler Gibbons. Yeah, sure. Is that right? Yeah.
I'll try to make it quick. All right. Thanks, Fred. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for welcoming me as the first inductee this evening to speak to all of you. I am very grateful for this opportunity and firstly want to thank the committee for this honor. It's an honor to stand here tonight among so many talented and dedicated fellow inductees. Within this group, there's one player and friend who I need to highlight. At the age of 7, I joined my first lacrosse team, and during this year, I watched a younger player demonstrate how opportunities to play on a team could be accomplished if you were dedicated, worked hard, and were a good teammate. This, of course, was Mike McLeod. Over a 30-year lacrosse career, I have experienced many leagues, many teams, and many wins and losses. In some of the most challenging games, Mike has been by my side. Junior B and then Senior B teammates, President Cup champions, Barrie, and professionally in Edmonton. All these experiences were enhanced by Mike by my side. He is the greatest teammate and even better friend. I don't reflect on my playing career without seeing Mike by my side, and I couldn't imagine a better experience tonight knowing he is here as a fellow inductee. Next, it would be fitting to also mention one of my most influential lacrosse coaches, Mark Kazarian. Again, at the age of 7, Mark was my first lacrosse coach. He took a chance on a player with little experience playing house league. Funny enough, years later, on my first tryout to make the Junior B Dutchman, Mark cut me. However, he invited me to come out for every practice, take part in every warm-up, and made me feel I was part of the team. Having the chance to be around this team inspired me to work even harder. I can also thank Mark for not being too hard on me and some neighborhood friends as we terrorized his home, oftentimes on summer break or days off from games. From my first coach at 7 to my last at 37, Mark has always been there. I can't imagine having another coach behind the bench. Thank you for your dedication and your guidance. I'd also like to thank my family-in-law who were dedicated to attend as many games as they could. It meant a lot to always look up in the stands and see those who love me cheering me on. You guys never hesitated to show your support, and I thank you for being here. Thank you to my family, beginning with my parents, my sisters, my grandparents, who sacrificed so much to ensure that I had the opportunity to attend tryouts, travel being away at tournaments, have the necessary equipment, and supported me during the tough losses, and celebrated with me during the exceptional wins. I can't thank you guys enough for everything. To my two girls who are here, Netta and Millie, pretty sure you have no idea that I played sports. But I'm so happy that and proud that you're here tonight. All the accomplishments and moments doesn't compare to being your dad, so I love you both. Lastly, to my wife, Lacey, you'll never know how much I appreciate everything you've done for me. We've been together since I was in junior, so you've dealt with all the practices, late night bus trips, and knowing our summer was going to evolve around my schedule. Not once did you ever complain about it. You have been my biggest supporter, and without your support, I know I'm not standing here today. Again, thank you for this incredible honor.
Congratulations to our first inductee tonight, Tyler Gibbons. From the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee to make the next presentation, please welcome Dave Cruikshank. Our second inductee into the 2026 Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame is Brian Lemon. Brian Lemon was involved in lacrosse as a player, as a coach, as an executive and builder for most of his life. His dad, Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame athlete Cy Lemon, got a lacrosse stick for Brian when he was just 3 years of age. Brian was a 2-year member of the Owen Sound Signmen, finishing 7th in Junior B lacrosse scoring in 1983 with 52 goals. In 1985, with 79 points, Brian played for the St. Catharines Junior A team and was named as the OLA Rookie of the Year. In 1987, Brian was the Rookie of the Year with the Senior North Star lacrosse team. His best year statistically was with the North Stars in 1988 when he was 5th in OLA major senior scoring with 61 goals and more than 100 points. Brian was a key member of the 1989 and 1991 President's Cup Canadian champion Owen Sound North Stars. Following his retirement from his playing days, Brian has been the National Lacrosse League Vice President of Operations for more than 20 years. He oversees player discipline, rules, scheduling, officials, and all league logistics. Before accepting this role with the National Lacrosse League, Brian Lemon played 8 years in the league for the Baltimore Thunder, the Detroit Turbos, and the Rochester Nighthawks, winning the Champions Cup in 1991 with the Detroit Turbos. Congratulations to Brian Lemon.
Thank you to the Hall of Fame Committee. My lacrosse playing career would not have been possible without the many people in Owen Sound that had a direct impact on myself and many other players over the years. Coaches, general managers, and volunteers along the way all contributed to my success as a player. My thank yous will highlight the people who stand out, also knowing that there are many, many others that played a role along the way. First, my parents, Cy. He provided so many opportunities for myself and fellow lacrosse players to play. A couple highlights: the co-ed high school box lacrosse league at the old Owen Sound Arena that included West Hill and OCVI players, and the high school field lacrosse seasons traveling to the Ontario Provincials games and some games in the United States. My mother, Marie, jumped in serving various positions in Owen Sound minor lacrosse and administered the girls team that actually was inducted into this Hall of Fame last year. So thank you to my parents. My first recollection of playing lacrosse was in Tyke, where I began to love the game and love to score goals. I still remember the sponsors of those teams. We cannot forget the sponsors for Owen Sound lacrosse over the years. Whitaker Cable in green jerseys and Checker Milk in baby blue jerseys. And my teammate Stu Pearson would always win the draw and would pass to me on breakaways, and that got me in the rhythm to enjoy the game. Next, as I continued to grow and get older, stalwarts such as Jack Millen and Joe Hamley provided the organizational structure behind many of the minor teams I played for. Thank you to those men. Unfortunately, I only played a few games for Coach Cubby Crookshank, mostly as a call-up for the Signmen. In '82, Cubby had a Canadian championship team and recognized that my playing time would be limited, so he gave me a one-year release. I still remember looking in his eye and him saying, "It's only 1 year." So thank you to Cubby for allowing me to develop on another junior team. The best coach I ever had in Owen Sound was Morley Kells. He was ahead of his time redesigning the transition game and maximizing player talents. Chucky Martin and I scored about another 20 goals each on the North Stars that year because of his systems, as Morley greatly contributed to my success. A big thank you to General Manager Rick Fernal. If it wasn't for Rick, I would not have returned to Owen Sound to play for the North Stars after my junior career in St. Catharines and every summer after. He cared about his players, he took care of them, got them summer jobs and housing. His competitive desire to build a team with strong local talent, supplemented with outside talent, was remarkable. Lastly, thank you to all my teammates that made me a better player. A lot of great memories with all of you. Thank you.
Once again, congratulations to Brian Lemon. Brian mentioned Morley Kells. I think he'd still be yelling at people, wouldn't he? I don't think there was a better moment than when Morley was behind the bench and Ken Bales was up in the press box and they screamed at each other for half an hour. It was a great moment. For our next inductee from the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee, please welcome Mark Kazarian. Mark has the honor tonight of inducting our next athlete. Congratulations to Matt McLeod. Matt McLeod played minor hockey and minor lacrosse in the Scenic City and later played pro lacrosse in the National Lacrosse League. He played Junior B lacrosse in Owen Sound for 3 seasons from 2003 to 2005, beginning as a midget call-up, and was one of the leading scorers each and every year. Matt McLeod played for the Owen Sound Grays in 2004 and 2005 in hockey. He won back-to-back Minto Cups with the Orangeville Northmen in 2008 and 2009 and was the Northmen's leading scorer and regular season MVP in 2008. In 2007, Matt McLeod was drafted 8th overall in the National Lacrosse League, taken by the Rochester Nighthawks. He played 7 seasons from 2008 to 2014 in the NLL for Rochester, Orlando, Toronto, and the Colorado Mammoth. In 2011, Matt won the National Lacrosse League Champions Cup with the Toronto Rock. Matt had an extremely successful lacrosse career spanning more than 27 years and currently is coaching minor lacrosse in Hamilton. Congratulations to Matt McLeod.
First off, I'd like to thank Sharon and everyone on the Hall of Fame committee, and Fred for hosting tonight, and for also making me sound good for most of my career with your brilliant broadcasting skills. I truly am honored to be getting inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame, especially with my brother Mike. We've both spent many hours looking at and idolizing the individuals on the wall out there, including many friends and family members, and it's still hard to believe that we'll be joining them. I also want to congratulate all the other fellow inductees tonight, Brian, Tom, Ryan, Tyler, Mark, Brittany, Cecil, Chet, Glenn, Steve, and all the teams, including the BDO minor Adam hockey team. Although since Mike was also on that team, he made sure to let me know that he was getting inducted twice tonight. And it didn't help that Tyler made his head bigger than it already is. It's great to see many familiar names and friends being honored tonight, and they've all done an amazing job representing the city of Owen Sound. It's also a great honor to be inducted alongside Matt Eckert. I had the privilege of playing with him in Orangeville, where we won the Minto Cup together. One of the highlights of my career, and Ecky truly was an amazing teammate, coach, teacher, friend, and person. I was very fortunate to grow up playing lacrosse and hockey in Owen Sound. There are so many people to thank for their support, guidance, and patience throughout my career, including all my former teammates, coaches, trainers, managers, and all the parents and volunteers behind the scenes that really make it all possible. I'm also extremely blessed for all the support I've received from my family on both the McLeod and Kazarian side. My mom, my dad, brother, sister, grandmother's wife, as well as all my aunts, uncles, and cousins who either cheered us on, coached, or played alongside me. And thank you to those who came tonight, many members from the Kazarian families, the Joneses, Greases, although my Aunt Donna graciously agreed to stay back and babysit the kids tonight, so she wasn't able to come. There are so many people to thank, and I know I'm going to miss some, but I really wanted to just take this time to acknowledge and thank some of the instrumental people in my career. My Uncle Jonesy, who coached me all throughout my minor lacrosse career, even though I didn't learn that his first name was Brian until I was about 15. My Uncle Mark, who coached me throughout junior and senior lacrosse here in Owen Sound up until just a few years ago. As well, my first memories of watching high-level lacrosse were of my Uncle Pete playing for Six Nations, and that's something I've always been inspired by and grateful for. I also have so many great memories of road trips to games and tournaments with my family and the Joneses, my Aunt Maria, Uncle Joe, my cousins Adam and Amanda, as well as with so many friends and family. I've had the privilege of having some of the best coaches and teammates in lacrosse, which includes teams obviously in Owen Sound, as well as Orangeville, which were my most memorable, but also in Kitchener, Six Nations, Nanaimo, Maple Ridge, Rochester, Orlando, Toronto, and Colorado, just to name a few. And yes, I was a little bit of a suitcase, but I got to meet and make friends with so many great people along the way. And among my teammates were also some of my closest friends and family, including Travis Gibbons, the McMillan, Smith, and Quaid brothers, and my cousins Sean and Brian Kazarian, and Aaron Grease. I don't think I officially played with Aaron, but I did get him kicked out of his hotel during the Harry Kazarian tournament one year, so I'll count it. My brother Mike and my cousin Adam Jones were my longest tenured teammates, as well as opponents when you consider our pool lacrosse and backyard games at my Grandma Diesel's and the mini stick wars we used to have. We constantly pushed each other to be better and always had each other's backs, both on and off the floor. Mike also helped pave the way for me in lacrosse early on with his success, which definitely helped my career. That and the bare knuckle fights we used to have in our basement. Adam was also a big reason that I ended up playing in Colorado, along with Bob Hamley, Eddie Como, and Sean Ferris, who were great coaches and played a huge role in my NLL career. My sister Maria was always one of my biggest supporters, and when she wasn't playing lacrosse herself, she was often in the arena rooting us on, usually with my cousin Amanda. My sister, my beautiful wife, Brittany. I need my glasses up here, I think. And to my beautiful wife, Brittany. We met while I was entering the prime of my career, so it'd be hard for her not to be a fan of mine. But she grew to love the game of lacrosse and always supported my career, even with the crazy travel schedules. And she's now the biggest supporter of our two sons, George and Miles, as they start their own sports journey. My grandma Kazarian, also known as Diesel, was a second mother to us and rarely missed our games. Just her presence always motivated us to work harder, and she was never afraid to tell you the truth when you didn't play well. My grandma McLeod, before she passed, was also a huge supporter of ours early on. I also have to give a big nod to my grandpa, Harry Kazarian. Although I was very young when he passed, he started the lacrosse tradition in our family and essentially made it a rite of passage. And finally, Mike and I wouldn't have had the sports career and the other opportunities that followed if it weren't for our parents, Lisa and Don. Our dad was our best coach, both at the arena and home, always encouraging us to work harder, be good teammates, and always have fun, and to shoot the ball. I'm almost done, I promise. My dad also wanted to be the one to nominate us for the Hall of Fame, and my mom helped to make that happen. Our mom was and is our biggest fan, always cheering the loudest in the stands and the first to tell us how well we played. Now she gets to do that for all the grandkids, and probably Mike again with the senior Bs. Our parents gave us all the opportunities to be successful, and made a lot of sacrifices for us so we could pursue our crazy sports dreams and supported us the entire way. And for that, we are truly and extremely grateful. Although some important people couldn't be here, I know my dad, Diesel, Eki, along with the rest of the crew up there, are smiling down on us tonight. So thank you again.
Congratulations, Matt. For a guy who married his sister, you've done very well. You have to remember I'm from Midland, right? So that's not unusual. Actually, I have one friend. He's been married 3 times. He's had the same in-laws all 3 times. So I noticed Greg Cowan's here. Greg, are you in the back? All right, Greg Cowan from the Sun-Times is here. Can we have a nice hand for Greg? Does a great job for the Sun-Times. Greg, are you here to cover or are you just here for the meal? Well, Greg will get this story into the Sun-Times by Thursday, so don't worry, anybody. Next, we'd like to welcome Brian Mahar from the committee to please come forward. Please welcome Brian. And Brian's pleasure will be to induct our next member of the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame, Mike McLeod.
That's my uncle!
Mike McLeod played Junior B lacrosse for Owen Sound for 4 seasons, beginning in 2001, starting as a midget call-up, and was the leading scorer on the team from 2002 through 2004. He played hockey for the Owen Sound Junior B Grays for 3 seasons from 2002 to 2005. He was the assistant captain and tied for second in team scoring in 04-05 as the Grays went to the Junior B Finals in the Midwestern Junior B Hockey League. Mike played 16 seasons with Owen Sound Senior B lacrosse, serving as an assistant captain or captain for most of those seasons. He was a 2-time President's Cup winner, a 4-time Ontario Senior Champion, and 2-time President's Cup finalist. In 2006 and 2009, Matt attended Brock University, playing for the Brock Badgers, helping them win 2 national titles. He was the Brock Badgers Rookie of the Year in 2006 and was awarded the Player of the Game in the 2009 championship final. In 2006, Mike was drafted 15th overall by the Toronto Rock and played 4 seasons in the National Lacrosse League from 2007 to 2010 for the Toronto Rock and Edmonton Rush. Mike continues to be very involved in Owen Sound lacrosse, coaching and volunteering. Congratulations to Mike McLeod.
Thanks, Fred. It's Mike. No, thank you. Thanks so much for everyone for coming tonight. Congratulations to my fellow inductees. I feel incredibly fortunate to be inducted alongside my brother Matt and one of my best friends, Tyler Gibbons. Also, my minor hockey team, 95-96, Minor Adams, that won the OMHA championship that year, and as well as with Matt Eckert. Thank you as well to the committee for all the hard work you put into tonight and everything that you guys do year-round to support the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. A special thanks also to all of Matt and my supporters who were able to attend tonight. I grew up in a big sports family. My late grandfather, Harry Kazarian, and Grandma Dorse, or Diesel, as many knew her, raised 7 kids, all involved in lacrosse at one point or another, and some still are today, my Uncle Mark. That love for the game spread through the whole family and played a huge role in me standing here tonight. There are so many people, coaches, friends, family, trainers, who contributed to me being here. My parents, my brother Matt, my sister Maria, my Uncle Joe, Aunt Maria, and my cousins Amanda and Adam in the Greases. Growing up, it always felt like one big family. We spent countless weekends piling into big vans, heading to tournaments or playing mini sticks and pool lacrosse at Grandma's house, usually with Uncle Joe and Net. We've always had each other to lean on. My Uncle Mark, He somehow convinced my parents that it was perfectly fine for me at the age of 6 to be playing lacrosse with 9 and 10-year-olds. He has later coached me not only in minor, but in junior B and senior B, even up until last year, where I also got to play alongside my cousins, Brian, Sean, Adam, and of course, Matt. And I can also remember at a young age traveling down to Brantford with the whole crew in a big van to watch my Uncle Pete play for the Six Nations Chiefs. Something that, as a young kid, I still remember to this day. Tyler Gibbons, Nick Quaid, Corey McGregor, they're all here tonight. Childhood friends. We, at different points in time, got to play minor, junior, senior together. Truly amazing. Also, Chunk, Scott Lockhart, who is still the toughest guy I ever played with, they all gave me some of my favorite memories in the game too. The McMillan brothers, Brandon and Jordan, we played on the floor together, but we also played off the floor, constantly in the backyard. We had some intense battles with Matt and Adam that usually only ended when Matt and I decided it was time to fight and ruin the game for everyone. One of my favorite memories from lacrosse was when Matt, Adam, and I played junior A in Orangeville. We lost in the Ontario finals that year, but I can still remember our first game together very vividly. On the drive down, me driving, somehow we came up with the brilliant idea that all 3 of us should get into fights. Not with each other this time. Adam, the youngest, went first, then I did, then there was Matt, spending the entire third period chasing guys around the floor, taking minor penalties. It was unbelievable. Lacrosse gave me opportunities and experiences I never would have had otherwise. I got to live and play in Orangeville, experience South Carolina while attending Limestone College, and then went on to play field lacrosse for the first time, and later attended Brock University, where I got to win 2 national championships and get 0 credits. That eventually led to me being drafted by the Toronto Rock and getting to play for the team I grew up watching and idolizing. I also got to play for the Edmonton Rush with my best friend Tyler. And that was thanks to Owen Sounder Bob Hamley and former Owen Sound Senior B Woodsman coach the late Ian McGough. Matt and I also got to experience life on Vancouver Island together while playing together for the Nanaimo Timbermen, thanks to a good friend, Bobby DeBarone. We had a lot of fun out there, but I'm not sure we're welcome back. At the end of the day, though, it's the years I got to play here at home for the Owen Sound Senior Bs with my friends and family that I'll cherish the most. Winning 2 Canadian championships was incredible, but it's the camaraderie, the bus trips, the brawls, and the funny stories that really stay with you. Time sure flies. I played my first senior B game in 2003 and my last in 2025. To my mom and dad, thank you for taking all 3 of us all over the country for hockey and lacrosse in Dad's big red van. You put a lot of kilometers on that thing, and there was never a shortage of passengers or beers being drank out of the back of it. You were our biggest supporters and always encouraged us to pursue our dreams, whether in sports or in life in general. You always believed in us. What really instilled our love for sports was simply playing with Dad in the driveway or backyard, watching him play for the Lakeshore Winterhawks, growing up around the rink, riding the bus with him and his team, and being part of that environment. There was really never much question that I'd want to do the same someday. Before my dad passed away, he really pushed for me and Matt to be part of the Hall of Fame. So this is really for you, Dad. I know you're up there smiling down tonight. And finally, thank you to my wife, Christy, for always supporting my love of lacrosse, even to this day, and for giving me the greatest gift of all, our two little boys, Wells and Jack. I'm especially excited that Wells, who's almost 3, who just recently got stitched up, starts lacrosse on Monday. He's already excited to become a North Star too. Hopefully this is just the beginning of another generation of backyard lacrosse games, long drives to tournaments, and memories like the ones we were lucky enough to have. Thank you, everyone. Cheers to Donnie.
It's Mike, right? All I know is your brother married his sister, and I got rattled, so. Good for you for keeping it at least decent. All right. Mike McLeod, congratulations to both Matt and Mike. Well done. From the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee, please welcome our next guest to make an induction and a welcome. Please welcome Bill Simpson. Bill, who's still celebrating the Leaf Lottery win, is pleased to announce that Ryan Thompson is being inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Ryan Thompson. A native of Wyerton, Ryan Thompson has enjoyed an impressive fastball career spanning 3 decades. He has competed at the highest level of fastball since 1995, playing with top-tier teams throughout his career and continuing that excellence as he transitioned into the Masters division. Whenever local teams provided the opportunity to play at an elite level, Ryan consistently chose to represent Owen Sound whenever possible. Ryan Thompson won 3 provincial titles, 3 national titles, and 5 national medals playing with Owen Sound teams, and represented local teams in the ISC World Tournament on 7 different occasions. Ryan has been named an All-World Infielder, OASA All-Star, and an All-Canadian Infielder, and also won the Jack Cook Memorial MVP Award in 2022. In total, Ryan Thompson has won 6 provincial titles, 5 national championships, and 5 ISC World Championships in fastball. He's demonstrated a commitment to the growth and success of local fastball in our region. Beyond his accomplishments on the field, he has actively supported the sport through minor fastball clinics, sharing his experience and mentoring young fastball players and young athletes. Congratulations to Ryan Thompson.
Thanks very much. Congratulations. My thanks to the committee for all the hard work you do, and congratulations to the other athletes, builders, and teams. Not too many highlights, and I'm not surprised. When they asked about the highlights that might be available for me, I thought, well, I'm probably more suitable for the Hall of Pretty Good. Not going to be a lot of highlights, probably some errors, a few soft grounders rolled out to third base, but other than that, just stick to the pictures. That's the way to go. Standing here tonight is incredibly humbling. To be inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame is something I never dared to imagine. I paid special attention to the shrine every time I came here to watch the Platers. Growing up, they'll always be the Platers to me. I checked the shrine every time that I came in. Tonight is really about me showing deep gratitude to the people who made this possible, and many of those people are in the room today. I'm especially happy to share this honor with everyone that is here tonight. First and foremost, to Bill Simpson and his late father, Lloyd Simpson, truly the royal family of fastball here in Owen Sound. It's fair to say I would not at all be standing here without you. You inspired me to embrace this great game of fastball and encouraged me to dream bigger than I ever thought that I would be able to. You created opportunities for me to play on the national and world stages, and along the way you taught me some valuable life lessons, like we hate Napanee, we hate Stittsville, we hate Kempville. Just because they're Napanee, Stittsville, and Kempville. And don't worry about Waterloo, they're good, but they'll never beat us when it counts. Very important life lessons. And that, how to disagree with umpires respectfully. Bill also does a bit of financial advice if you need it. We always used to find myself in the barber chair with him in the spring, getting ready to negotiate what the right amount of expenses would be for a player of my caliber. And Bill would always say, "You're doing this all wrong. You can eat for $12 a day, $15 a day at the most. You can get a good breakfast for $2. You can get a soup and a sandwich for $5, and another soup and a sandwich for $5. So I'll let you talk to Bill about that a little later."
Tom White is also being recognized tonight as an athlete, but you should also know he's a first-rate coach. He is probably the coach that is most responsible for turning me into a legitimate ball player. I remember the first time that I played for Owen Sound. We were traveling across the province to play a game, doubleheader, and I was used to playing intermediate ball. You get dressed at home, you drive to the game. So I showed up to go across Ontario to play a game in my uniform, my very new Tireman uniform. So he had a very raw piece of work to deal with. And Tom also is a man of incredible patience. He would show up for us every night and throw batting practice, and I tested his patience as a very raw player. I remember being in Pennsylvania in the first game early in May. It's cold, and I didn't feel like I belonged. And the first ground ball that came to me, I threw it halfway up the right field line into the corner, trying to throw a runner out at first. The next one that came to me, I threw halfway up the first base line into the dugout. And I saw Tom throw his hat on the ground on the bench, and I thought, I really don't want to go off the field. The third ball, I shot-putted that to first, and it barely made it there. I got off the field, and Tom said, look it, you're our shortstop, and I'm going to put you out there every day, so you better figure it out. And that was a lesson in confidence that I still use this day, so thank you for that. To my parents, my mom, I'm 53 years old. You've been following me across the continent for 40-some years, and you won't know how much that means to have somebody in your corner in that way and willing to drive so many hours to watch somebody make a couple errors, ground out softly to third, strike out, and then go home. So thank you for that. You'll never know how much that means. To my dad, I grew up playing ball with you, which is a very special thing to do as a youth. And to all the teams that you played on that treated me like I was a real person. That shaped who I am today, and I always wanted to make you and your friends proud of me when you treated me like an adult. I see Andy Barfoot here is here today. He was one of those adults that treated me like I was a real person, and they'll never know how much that means to me. Reese, I'm going to try and do that. I mean, maybe we'll play together, but I don't know, man. I'm getting old, my knees are sore, and I'm not very good, but we'll see what we can do. I'm almost done. A few more thank yous. To my brothers, from playing wiffle ball in the front yard to competing together for world championships, the memories we created together are some of the most cherished ones that I will have. You made me feel like the stronger big brother and wanted me to show you how to do it and for you to be proud of me, and yet at the same time you kept me feeling young and relevant and able to keep playing, so thank you for that. To my teammates that are here, you're the people that know the truth. I'm not actually Hall of Fame material, I'm Hall of pretty good material. That's what I am. I'm slow, I'm prone to making errors, and generally more likely to run into someone on the base path than try and make a smooth play. Thank you for that, keeping that secret with me for all these years, and I just hope that over that time I've given you some of what you've given to me in terms of memories. And to my friends, I know that you shared me with this game sometimes, and that meant me missing special events, and I appreciate you for that. Finally, you'll be relieved, this is finally. To my children and to Kate, thank you most of all for sharing me with this game. I know there were times that softball took me away from you, and that wasn't always easy. But my most cherished memories from this sport are the trips shared with you. And not just the championships that you happened to be there, but the memories and the times that we had in the tournaments. Haley, like us seeing Lady Antebellum at the Midland State Fair before they were really Lady Antebellum. And to Reese, last year, our amazing father and son trip to Minnesota for the World Championship and the chance for us to go to Wrigley Field together. Kate, you are newer to this sports world. Yay, sports, all day, every day. But thank you for supporting me and letting me to continue to chase this dream even at my advanced age. I love you. This honor may have my name on it, but it truly belongs to all of you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ryan. Very distinct memory of mine. The first time the Platers went to Erie, I saw some people running, and I thought maybe Ryan was at shortstop again. But sorry, Ryan. Up next, we'd like to welcome from the committee Mark Kazarian. And Mark will welcome our next inductee in the athlete category, Tom White. Tom White played Junior B hockey from 1973 to 1979 with the Owen Sound Grays. In the 78-79 season, playing for the Owen Sound Junior B Kings, he was fifth in league scoring with 39 goals and 80 points. A national and provincial champion in fastball, Tom played from 1970 to 1998. He was inducted into the Alberta Softball Hall of Fame as a member of the 1984 Camrose Merchants National Championship team and the 1981 Edmonton Crownwell Oilers. Tom was a member of 3 teams inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame: the 1978 MacArthur Goodyear Junior A OASA Championship team, and the 1989 and 1990 National Champion Canadian Tiremen. The 1978 MacArthur Goodyear Junior A team, Tom was their top hitter, and in the 1989 season, he had 12 home runs for the Goodyears. The City of Owen Sound has presented Tom with the Outstanding Achievement Award for 1979 for his success in the sport. In 1989, Tom received the National Achievement Award from the Province of Ontario, recognizing him for outstanding achievements and contributions to fastball. Tom White has also served 5 years as president of the Crescent Athletic Club and was on their executive for more than a quarter of a century. Congratulations to Tom White.
My speech is not as long as the other guys. All right. But I'd like to thank the Sports Hall of Fame for inducting me on my brother's application. It's unfortunate that my brother cannot be here tonight. To Mom and Dad and all their time they devoted to the sports, who were my biggest cheerleaders along the way. Without them, it's pretty tough to do a lot of the stuff that we do or have done. We got to remember, too, this is a different era that I'm talking about, not the younger era that a lot of the young guys probably won't even know what the heck I'm talking about. All right? So, but during that time, as we were growing up, we had great people like the Mercs, the Crescents, the people that won national championships, and we are part of that families that grew up. And we are dealing with the winning knowledge of those people that brought so much pleasure in playing sports. We could go to schools and play some of the greatest road hockey games, even though I slashed apparently a lot of the people when they went by me. I'm not sure if that is a true thing or not, but you'd have to ask Kaz on that. Brian Mahar was also a part of that group that we all hung out together. Up in Dogan Heights, we had quite a few of the local people that are here tonight that we played wall ball, we played street hockey, we broke windows in MacArthur's laneway, I don't know how many times shooting a puck. But those times were growing up. During those times, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have anything like that. The only thing that we had to respond to was that BCK whistle at 5 o'clock to get the hell home or you're not having no dinner at all, right? We had the greatest fastball I think in Ontario with the, we had the City League, we had the Church League, we had Georgian Bay League, WAA, everything was going then. And same with the hockey. Everything was great, You could go over into St. George's Park. It was packed every night watching young kids up to the Georgian Bay League, Billy Simpson, J.J. Grubers, Edmonton, Ed Buzzy, Bill Underwood. There's everybody you wanted to be. We saw those guys. We hung out with their kids and everything. It's the same era, but a lot of time has passed between that. it was great. Even, you know, I got to pay a lot of respect to the people along the way, like Bill Simpson, Lloydie Simpson. They kept fastball going. Teddy Briggs, Gordy Davis, those guys who gave us our scrapbooks, right? We don't see that too much anymore. Jonathan Jackson, I think, came after Teddy Briggs. And then Eddie Eldred on the radio. Now we got the voice of Owen Sound. Freddie Wallace, he came. He was at every event that was going on and broadcasted well, explained everything that was going on. Those were the times that, you know, we had a lot of fun at. As we grew up, we all went to different sports, lacrosse, ball, hockey. We all played together. We all went to school together. We all drank together. Actually, girlfriends were probably swapped together. Who knows? But anyway, over time, we grew to where we are now. And it was a lot of fun along the ways. I went out to Edmonton to play ball, but our ball league consisted from Winnipeg to Vancouver. You'd bust all that. And the person that brought me out there was Bill Guzak. He's a Ukrainian. His family came over during the USSR invasion of Ukraine. And he was great. He was a world champion fiddle player. We had our Fred Washerlishin. He played guitar. Our parts guy in the company, he played the snare drum. They owned the back of the bus. Every trip was a band going on. And then we get down the road so far, Pauline, Bill Guzak's wife, she'd be 3 hours ahead of us in the motorhome. Watch for the motorhome, she'd say. We'd pull over. There she is in a rest area. Pierogies, ham, everything, a big spread for the boys. It was great. It was a totally different atmosphere. And then when I came home, Lloydie Simpson took me up to Harold Sutherland's. He says, "You got a cracker of a guy coming home now, Harold. Do you think you have a spot for him?" Well, 33 years I was with Harold. I'm still with Walkers now, but he taught me how to be a person that was on time, worked hard. He appreciated everything. Maybe he didn't say a whole lot to you, and that was probably why. When he wasn't talking to you, you're doing a good job. It's when he comes to you and says something, you know you got your ass in the sling, right? But anyway, Harold, thank you for giving me the time off during that time. If it wasn't for you and your love of sports, there'd be a lot of people that wouldn't be playing the game. Once again, to Bill Simpson, Sandy, and their family, they kept that game going. And the only other thing I got to say is to my sisters and my brother, you're welcome for me taking my parents away from the house on weekends. The only thing is they knew that there was a party because the beer caps were under the couch. And to all the other players and inductees, it's a great honor to see us all coming in. And in closing, once again, thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Shared your girlfriends. It really evolved into quite a night here tonight, hasn't it? Kind of sorry I grew up where I did. Our next member of the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee to make an induction, please welcome Dan Blackburn. Dan was a former chair of the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee, and it's his honor to welcome our next athlete to be inducted. Congratulations to Mark Short. Mark Short would have been a perfect performer in the silent movie era. His actions spoke louder than his words. He was not a flashy player, not the quickest, strongest, or tallest. He didn't score a lot of goals, but he did not give up many either. Mark was captain of the Owen Sound Crescent Midgets when they won the All-Ontario Championship. In 1978-79, Mark was awarded the Tony Hesh Memorial Award for midget-age defensemen judged to be most valuable to their team. Mark Short was a member of the Owen Sound Junior B Owen Sound Kings, where he scored 34 points in 34 games. Afterwards, he was given a full scholarship to Ohio State University. In the 1982-83 season, he was Rookie of the Year for Ohio State, along with many more awards as the years continued. All-time career points by a defenseman with 104, all-time career assists 81, Century Club member for over 1 career point per game, and he was captain in the 1984-85 season and again in 85-86. In 1987, Mark was a Senior A All-Star member of the Cambridge Hornets and had the honor of playing against the Canadian National Olympic Team. It was said about Mark Short, on his rushes he doesn't dazzle anyone with footwork, simply skates by them and, if necessary, over them. Congratulations to Mark Short.
Thank you, Fred, and thanks to the committee. Congratulations to all the other inductees, and thanks to my family and friends who could make it here tonight. Thank you to Brian Goff for nominating me, and to my brother John and my parents for supporting me along the way. Special thanks to my mother, who kept boxes and boxes of newspaper clippings over the years. Hockey's been very good to me over the years, and this is really quite an honor. I'd like to acknowledge all my coaches I had along the way, starting with our All-Ontario Champion Crescent Midget team, coaches Bob Stevenson, Dennis Farwell, and manager Dennis Stanley. What a terrific year that was. During the midget season, the Junior B team would call up players from our club. Bill Plant called me up multiple times, always gave me a regular shift, which gave me lots of confidence playing at that level. The following year, I played the season with the Junior B team, coached by Bob Stevenson. The next year, under some encouragement from a friend, I tried out for the Guelph Platers in the Ontario Tier 2 Junior A League. I made the club, and I remember going into the owner's office, Joe Holliday, to be signed. He was wearing a fedora, had a stogie in one hand, and he signed me and said, "Welcome to the team, kid." What a great owner he was. Coaching me at Guelph was terrific coach Don McKee. He took us to the Centennial Cup finals my second year with the Guelph against the Prince Albert Raiders in Saskatchewan for the national title. At the end of the season, I was lucky enough to have 2 full scholarship offers. Both teams were in the CCHA, Central Collegiate Hockey Association, Ohio State University, and University of Illinois in Chicago. After campus visits, I decided on Ohio State. Coach Jerry Welsh, who recruited me to Ohio State, coached me all 4 years I played there. Jerry took us to the Final Four of our league playoffs at Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, 3 out of my 4 years as a Buckeye. Playing in front of 20,000 fans was certainly a thrill, even though 70% of the fans were from Michigan. After my 4 years, I graduated and got my degree. After graduation, I returned to Owen Sound, and I still had an itch to play competitive hockey. I was given a phone number to Coach Don Vipon of the Cambridge Hornets in the Ontario Senior A League. I called him, and he said, "Come on down," and I played the season with him. I was working for Harold Sutherland at the time, and he would let me off early to go down to Cambridge for practice through the week. Not too early, mind you. Like 4:45 for a 7 o'clock practice in Cambridge. I played with or against some pretty good players that went on to NHL careers. I've seen some pretty great countryside I would never have seen before without this journey. Starting with our midget team trip to Oslo, Norway, What an experience. We billeted with Norwegian families, and my teammate, friend, and roommate for the trip, Mike Edgar, who's here tonight. We spent a week with a Norwegian family. Great time, experience. What a culture. We ate reindeer and shrimp almost every night. At Ohio State, we played in places like Lake Placid, Boston, Denver, Flagstaff, Arizona, and my senior year, a week in Alaska. As I said earlier, hockey's been good to me. Great relationships and experiences. My great nephew and great niece are here tonight, and both very involved in sports. In closing, I just want to say to Mason and Blair, hold on to your dreams, work hard, practice hard, and you never know what opportunities might come your way. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations, Mark, on being inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. I know Harold Sutherland is here tonight. Is there anybody going into the Hall of Fame, Harold, that didn't work for you over the course of the last 20 or 30 years? Our next inductee will be welcomed by Mark Kazarian from the committee. Please welcome Mark back. Our next athlete to be inducted tonight, we'd like to welcome to the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame, Brittany Smith. Brittany Smith began playing women's field lacrosse at the age of 13 for the under-20 women's team in Owen Sound. She played in the Owen Sound organization for 5 years before moving on to compete at the provincial level. In March of 2002, Brittany was selected as a member of the under-19 Canadian women's field lacrosse team. In 2003, she and her teammates went on to win bronze at the IFWLS World U19 Championships staged in Maryland. Brittany Smith went on to win several other medals. Silver medal winner at the 2004 Ontario Summer Games, silver medal winner of the 2004 and 2005 Ontario Provincial Championships, and in 2006, a gold medal winner of the Ontario Provincial Championships. In 2004, Brittany was the inaugural winner of the Dan Snyder Award for outstanding levels of sportsmanship, dedication, and determination. Following a 10-year playing career, Brittany Smith was the first Owen Sound female lacrosse athlete to obtain a full-ride Division I NCAA athletic scholarship to Robert Morris University in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Brittany was selected as the team captain at Robert Morris University in her first season and maintained that captaincy all 4 years she attended RMU. Congratulations to Brittany Smith.
Thank you very much to the committee. Choosing to play sports, I think, was one of the best decisions I ever made. I think for most kids, myself included, playing sports is where you start to build confidence. And as my dad likes to say a lot, the ups and downs of sports builds character. And it's also where I also met most of my lifelong friends. If my dad hadn't convinced me to try a sport I'd never heard of before when I was 8 years old, called ringette, I wouldn't have met probably the girls that are sitting here tonight who are still my best friends today. And the way I found lacrosse was my friend Siobhan came up to my locker in grade 7 and told me there's a girls' field team that we could try out for instead of sitting in the stands and watching our brothers all summer. At the time, there was only one girls' field team in Owen Sound. It was a U19 team, and I was 13. But I loved it right away and didn't care that I was playing against girls that were finishing or done high school. Back then, I never would have imagined how much the game has grown. To see how many teams there are and how many age groups exist now, and how many girls are going on to play university in Canada and the NCAA is incredible. I'm so proud to be part of the first generation in Owen Sound. Lacrosse also gave me opportunities that I never would have dreamed of, from playing on Team Canada with a maple leaf on my jersey at a World Cup, earning a Division I scholarship where I was the captain of the team, and competing internationally in the UK and Australia. I'm really proud of my lacrosse career, and none of it would have been possible with some very special people I'd like to thank. Jeff Tate was my first lacrosse coach. He taught me the field game when all I had ever seen is box. He was the kindest and most positive coach I think I've ever had. Bob Hooper was my trainer throughout the 2-year national team tryout process and my whole college career. and he really taught me what discipline and hard work looked like. My brothers, Jordan and Hayden, even though I'm the oldest, I've always looked up to you guys in a lot of ways, and we've always had a very healthy amount of competition in our house, and you two could also easily be standing up here tonight given your junior careers and beyond. And finally, my parents, Ron and Shelley. Dad, you were my first coach. You taught me how to skate, how to pitch a softball, you coached my ringette team, and when I got serious about lacrosse, you played catch with me until my right hand was as good as my left. Mom, you've been my biggest fan at everything I did. Whether it was ringette, softball, high school volleyball, or basketball, you were always there. And I never would have made that Canadian team if we didn't drive to Oshawa all those times. I can't thank you enough. You were the most supportive parents ever. And even when things were hard or didn't go well, you let me pick myself up and figure it out. More of that character building. It's such an honor to be inducted tonight, and I'm incredibly proud to be from Owen Sound, so thank you very much.
Just out of interest, Brittany, does this give you bragging rights in the family amongst your brothers? Are you the first one in? I sure am. There we go. Tough break, Jordan. Tough break, Hayden. Congratulations to Brittany Smith. Brian Mahar is back to make the next welcome for the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Our final athlete to be inducted this year is Cecil Harold Olmsted. Cecil Olmsted played organized hockey from the late 1930s until the early 1960s. He played his entire minor hockey time in Owen Sound, right up to Junior B with the Owen Sound Grays. In 1941, Cecil turned down an opportunity to play pro hockey in order to join Canada's 4th Division Armored Brigade for World War II. Following the war, Cecil returned to play Intermediate A and Intermediate B with the Owen Sound Lumber Kings, Senior A with the Owen Sound Mohawks, and Senior B with the Owen Sound Moose Deluxe. He also played for Owen Sound and area teams such as the Brook Millionaires, the Wyerton Redmen, and the Hanover Barons. In 1951, Cecil Olmsted moved to Minden and played for the Minden Monarchs. In the 1951-52 season, he won the scoring title for the Monarchs when they became the Northern Ontario champions. One of Cecil's fondest memories was playing in a junior hockey game representing Owen Sound against Toronto's junior team at Maple Leaf Gardens, where he had an 11-point night. A well-known quote about Cecil was, "Cecil is known from coast to coast for putting the puck between the posts." Congratulations to Cecil Olmsted.
Good evening, everyone. I think Rogers have pretty well covered my speech. Anyways, Cecil Andrew Harold Olmsted, born April 17th, 1923, and laid to rest April 5th, 1984. Played organized hockey from the late 1930s until the early 1960s. He played his entire minor hockey in the Owen Sound area right up to Junior B with the 1941-42 Owen Sound Grays. On October 29th of 1942, after turning down an opportunity to play pro hockey because he chose to play for a better team, as he joined Canada's 4th Division Royal Canadian Army Service Corps for World War II. He served overseas in the United Kingdom, Holland, France, Belgium, and Germany before returning to the Owen Sound area after being discharged from the Army on February 9th, 1946. After the war, he then played Intermediate A and B with the Owen Sound Lumber Kings, Senior A with the Owen Sound Mohawks, and Senior B with the Owen Sound Moose Deluxe. He also played for Owen Sound and area teams such as the Brook Millionaires, Springmount, Wyerton Redmen, and Hanover Barons. In 1951, Cecil and his family moved to Minden so he could play for the Minden Monarchs. With his help, the Minden Monarchs became the Northern Ontario champions, and he also won the scoring leader title for the 51-52 seasons. Cecil finished his organized hockey career with the Owen Sound Industrial League champions, RBW Graphics, which is also where he worked for 23 years after returning from Minden. There were numerous scoring championships he won during his career over 13 different teams that he played for throughout his career. One of his fondest memories and thrills was playing in a junior hockey game representing Owen Sound versus Toronto's junior team at Maple Leaf Gardens. He had quite the successful night of 11 points on the scoring summary, along with a dream come true playing on the ice surface of the now historic Maple Leaf Gardens. My ears still ring with the catchy phrase of Cecil Olmsted, the hockey player. Cease is known from coast to coast for putting the puck between the posts. I would like to close by taking this opportunity to thank the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee for their hard work and dedication and for making the 2026 induction of our father, Cecil Olmsted, possible. I would also like to congratulate all the other 2026 inductees that are now also part of the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you, one and all. Dad, we love you.
Congratulations to Cecil Olmsted and to the Olmsted family. We move now to the builders being inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. To make our welcome of our first builder tonight, please welcome from the committee Scott McKelvey. Our first builder to be inducted this year in the 2026 Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame is Chet Couture. Chet Couture began officiating minor lacrosse in Owen Sound in 1977 and subsequently became the local referee-in-chief in 80 to 82, assigning officials to referee the Men's City Lacrosse League and minor games and helping to develop and mentor young officials. Chet also officiated hundreds of games in Zone 8, which included the region of Owen Sound and south to Kitchener-Waterloo. In 1982, Chet moved to Guelph, where he continued to play lacrosse and referee minor lacrosse in Zone 8, and became the Guelph Minor Lacrosse Referee-in-Chief from the years 1985 through 89. In 1986, he retired from playing to begin officiating in the OLA Junior and Senior Leagues on a full-time basis. He officiated games involving the Owen Sound Junior and Senior teams from 1986 through 1997, as well as officiating several Owen Sound minor lacrosse teams when they played in several out-of-town arenas. Chet Couture officiated OLA Ontario Championship Final Playoff Game Series from 1985 to 98. He was involved in more than 100 playoff games. Chet Couture refereed the National Lacrosse League for 13 seasons from 1998 to 2010 and was a clinic instructor from 2006 to 2010. In hockey, Chet Couture was a certified Level 3 official working Ontario minor hockey games from 1983 to 1997. He was employed by the Ontario Hockey Association as a linesman from 1994 to 96 and officiated in some Ontario Championship finals in Junior C and Junior B. Chet is currently employed by the Ontario Hockey Association as an officiating manager, supervising and evaluating current officials throughout Ontario. Chet Couture was awarded the Jack Mann Memorial Trophy in 1994 by the Ontario Lacrosse Officials Association for dedication to on-floor officiating duties combined with contribution to officials' program development at all levels. Inducted into the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame in 2025 in the officials category, they recognized his dedication to the sport for more than 30 years of officiating lacrosse at every level, including the highest levels of box lacrosse in the world. Congratulations to Chet Couture.
Thank you very much for that very nice introduction, Fred. And I'd like to say hi to all you guys up here. Old friends from the past, and it's very nice to be back here in the scenic city where I grew up, and I'm proud to say I'm from Owen Sound. And I want to thank the committee. The committee puts in a lot of hard work, probably thankless hours, and those behind the scenes that make this work and keep the Hall of Fame flourishing and growing. It's very much appreciated. I wish to sincerely thank somebody who was previously inducted into this hall, as well as the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame, the late Cy Lemon of Owen Sound. Back in 1977, I wanted to play lacrosse. I'd never played before. Cy told me the best way for me to learn the rules was to attend one of his lacrosse referee clinics so that I could learn the rules. So I did, and then Cy, being very clever, put me to work immediately, refereeing all the little kids' lacrosse games. So that summer, I played lacrosse, but I also refereed a lot of lacrosse. And I actually enjoyed it. So I continued on refereeing lacrosse as well as playing. I coached some teams here in Owen Sound, and we had some success with the teams I coached. I had some success winning some Ontario championships and Canadian championships as a player. After I left Owen Sound, I played in Orangeville, won a President's Cup in 1984. But in 1986, somebody tried to recruit me to become a referee in lacrosse. And I distinctly remember the phrase pitched to me in the recruitment was, you know what, you're just an average player, but you're a pretty good referee. And you can stay in the game longer if you referee. So I made the transition, and very glad that I did. Aside from lacrosse, I was involved with hockey as well. And I was fortunate to coach my sons, Logan and Judson, for many years. A lot of their teams. I put a spring team together. 7 of those players that I coached over the years all played in the NHL, including my son Logan. So that was something that I take a lot of pride in as well. I had a bit of a speech prepared, but I've had to redact a lot of it because it was already covered, which is fine. I won't be up here much longer. But for me, being inducted here, as well as the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame, knowing that the one person who steered me in this direction to be a referee, which spread to hockey and lacrosse, was Cy Lemon. And he's here as well, and he's in the Canadian Lacrosse Hall of Fame as well, as a builder, and I just find it appropriate. So, Cy, thank you so much. It's an honor for me to be inducted in this class with Brian Lemon, Cy's son. I know firsthand that Brian was a tremendous goal scorer because he used to score thousands of goals on me in front of the Lemon family house way back in the day. And I have to thank all the lacrosse players that have been up here earlier who were inducted, the McLeod brothers, Brian Lemon, and Randy Gibbons' son, as I know him. Whenever I refereed them, it must have been the Owen Sound connection because they did not abuse me when I refereed them. That abuse was reserved for when I came up to Owen Sound to referee, and it was Jack McGregor and his wife. They got to abuse me as much as they could. So, but having said all that, thank you again to the committee for making everything happen. Thank you for my induction. It means everything to me. And thank you to this, City of Owen Sound for providing me with a place to, play sports, get into refereeing, because I've seen a lot of things, learned a lot as a referee. And finally, to be inducted, this means a lot to me. To be inducted, the same class as Matt Eckert means a lot because I've known his parents for a long time. And 2 years ago, the 1981 girls junior lacrosse team that I coached was inducted, as you saw earlier. And Matt's mother, Jen, was on the team. And other than being an amazing person, she was probably the best girls goalie in lacrosse. So that means a lot to me to be inducted. So thank you very much.
Congratulations again, Chet. If you're wondering what Sharon just told me, she told me that you really were a bad player, so you had a good career as a referee. Congratulations to Chet Couture, our first builder to be inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame this year. Up next, we would like to welcome from the organizing committee, please welcome Tim Keeling. Tim has the pleasure tonight to induct our second builder into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Congratulations to Glenn Bredner.
Glenn Bredner has been involved in the leadership of bowling for more than 50 years. He started as a pin boy before automation, and even then his leadership and commitment shone through. If bowlers or leagues required guidance or assistance, Glenn would be ready and able to help. He often recruited capable individuals when and where they were needed. Glenn has kept competitive and league bowling alive in the city of Owen Sound. He's been involved in every aspect of leadership in Owen Sound and coached youth and adult bowlers at all levels of competition. Glenn Bredner served in many executive positions in the sport of bowling locally and at the zone level as well. His involvement in youth and adult bowling in Owen Sound spans many years. When Big Brothers needed someone to assist and manage the bowling fundraising program in the early 80s, Glenn stepped in on behalf of the Bowlers Association. He worked tirelessly to make this the successful fundraiser it is today. Glenn was approached by Special Olympic bowlers to keep their program going, and that program has expanded and thrives to this day. Glenn Bredner was the recipient of the 2022 Queen's Platinum Jubilee coin for the dedication of his time to many community organizations. As an athlete, Glenn qualified fourth at Ontario Provincial Open Championships over the course of 13 years on men's teams and mixed teams. He has also participated in many sports in Owen Sound, along with dedicating his time to many community organizations that include Meals on Wheels, Special Olympics Bowling, and Big Brothers Big Sisters. Congratulations to Glenn Bredner.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank the members of the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Committee for this honor. I would also like to thank our friend Kathy Thompson for nominating me. I accept this honor on the understanding that it should be Glenn Bredner family and friends, the two tables that are here, because there's nothing that could have happened or succeeded without their help, and I wouldn't have taken on any of them if I hadn't been able to count on that. From 1970 to 75, when I was the tournament chair of Owen Sound, before automatic scoring, we had to provide scorekeepers for 16 to 20 lanes for the Special Olympics regional thing, just once a year, but that's still 32 to 40 scorekeepers Friday and Saturday. And then when the Youth Bowling Council decided that they wanted to have everybody bowl in one place, Owen Sound was the only spot that could host them, and we'd have to have about 80 scorekeepers. So that took a lot of volunteers. And thanks to them, most of them were in the, at that time called the Golden Age League, so they're not with us anymore, but I do thank them, as well as my family. In 1973, I met my wife. We didn't get married till 75, but that was the day before the days that there was cell phones or answering machines or anything. So there must have been times when there was 25 phone calls in a day for the busy time, and I think. First of all, my mother, and then after I met my wife, they were answering the phone all the time. And sometimes if my wife wasn't there, my mother would get phone calls long after we were married. Sure meant a lot. Then, as ways and means, keep in mind that I'm old enough to remember when Owen Sound was a dry city. And about the only way you could have a good time was to get a special occasion permit. And as an organization of about 800 people, we were one of the organizations that could get it for a group that needed a fundraiser or whatever. And that was a lot of help. And it took a lot of volunteers to do that. my wife continued to answer the phone a lot. We sold a lot of Blue Jay bus trips from about the mid-'80s to '90s. But anyway, the biggest thing for me was getting involved with the Big Brothers of Owen Sound. Up until 1979, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police was a Canadian sponsor for Big Brothers. I don't think Miss Big Sisters was part of that at the time. Well, then, most places in Ontario and Quebec, the RCMP took their detachments away. In Owen Sound, it lasted until 1984. In 1984, I started, because I was a Ways and Means chairman, we helped the Big Brothers organize the first year Bowl for Millions, and then that was a trademark violation, so it had to be Bowl for Kids' sake. And for me, that was a very big change, because I got to meet some of the most wonderful people in the whole area that bowled that day, because that was a major fundraiser for Big Brothers, and kept it going. And my family, like basically counting my mother, 4 generations now have helped Big Brothers. Now they're in very good hands. I'm not part of it anymore, but it did take off and it goes good. But most of you here at one time or another either donated or come up and bowled or whatever. I thank you very much. Now I'm old enough that I have to step back, but thank you very much for this honor, and Hall of Fame committee, and you folks are wonderful. Thank you.
Congratulations to our second inductee into the Builder Division. Congratulations to Glenn Bredner. Our next inductee could not be here tonight, but we would like to roll the video and congratulate our final builder to be inducted in the 2026 Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame, Steve Brown. Well, here's Dan Blackburn. Okay, Dan. Technical difficulties at Rogers? Come on. If this was the radio station, I'd believe that. Thank you, John. Yeah, that's great. I'm sure that's, what did it cost to get in here? People don't want to hear that. What should we do, Mark? Should we just move on? Okay, we got something happening. There we go. Steve Brown, Master, builder number 3.
Steve Brown has been a volunteer for sports in Owen Sound for most of his adult life. The hockey and ball leagues are 30 and 33 years respectively, but he has no plans to stop now and will continue to be a leader and an advocate for sports in the city. Steve is an exceptional builder of adult sports in Owen Sound. Back in 1995, when the men's hockey league in town was about to fold, Steve said to his good friend Bruce Tannehill, "The boys are going to need a place to play." And that began the journey for the Owen Sound Men's Rec Hockey League. The league has expanded many times, and Steve has been a pioneer of that league, leading to incredible success. With the desire to get as many players playing and keeping them playing as they aged, Steve and the executive have expanded the league several times since the early days. Expansion has been the result of diligent work by the executive and Steve's vision to facilitate all levels of skill in hockey. Steve Brown joined the executive for the Slow Pitch League in 1991, and the following year he took over as the president, and he's been running it for 33 years. Steve is also one of 2 organizers of the Owen Sound Fall Classic Slow Pitch Tournament that's been conducted for more than 20 years. At its peak, that tournament hosted 112 teams from all over Ontario. Steve Brown is a pillar of our community and the main driver of adult sports in Owen Sound. He'd be the first to say that it takes a team to do all of this, and although that's certainly the case, Steve Brown is the key and a true leader and advocate for allowing people to continue playing sports in the city of Owen Sound. Congratulations to Steve Brown.
Technical difficulties. All right, so Steve is away on a trip, and I think in 2 years' time, we'll do the entire Sports Hall of Fame on a boat cruise through Europe, because that's where Steve is right now, so get your nominations in. Steve did send a thank you via video, and I'm not sure if it's available, so can you just give me 5 seconds here? All right, Shelley, you're on. He doesn't have it? Okay, so we're going to move along, Shelley. Okay? No, we'll move along. Steve Brown sent a very nice thing. It'll be on Rogers at some point or another, just like everything else. I think it was right after Gardening with Gwen. Dan, by the way, Dan, you did a terrific job. Can we have a nice hand for Dan Blackburn? That was probably the best all night. We have a special merit award to hand out tonight. We want to welcome Sharon McKechnie to make the presentation. Please welcome Sharon back to our podium tonight. And it's Sharon's pleasure tonight to award our special merit award to Matt Eckert.
From a very young age, Matt Eckert had an unwavering love for sports. His passion and talent quickly made him well known and well respected with Junior B and Junior A lacrosse, Junior B hockey, and the community of sports at large in the region. At the age of 16, Matt was drafted into Junior A lacrosse by the St. Catharines Junior A's and then swiftly moved to the Junior A Orangeville Northmen, helping the Northmen bring home the Minto Cup in 2009. During this time, Matt accepted a full sports and academic scholarship in the United States for lacrosse. Unfortunately, a knee injury and 2 surgeries later created persistent challenges in his recovery, and Matt was forced to begin redefining his life as a retired athlete. With great persistence, Matt focused on education and became a well-respected and well-loved teacher. Through coaching, he rediscovered his love for athletics and mentoring others. Matt Eckert's dedication to youth development and athletics has a meaningful impact across a wide range of sports through coaching and community involvement. Volleyball, mountain biking, golf, softball, field lacrosse, youth winter lacrosse, the Owen Sound Bantam North Stars, and the Owen Sound Junior B North Star lacrosse team. Tragically, Matt's life was cut short in a car accident on May 23, 2025, returning home with students from a girls' high school softball tournament. A loss that has affected so many very profoundly. Matt's legacy lives on through the countless lives he inspired as a player, as a coach, as a mentor, as a teacher, and a friend who embodied resilience, passion, and heart. We congratulate Matt Eckert on being inducted into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Fastball team played together from 1970. There you go.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jennifer Eckert, Matt's mom, and this is my husband, David Eckert, Matt's father. We want to start by congratulating all of the 2026 inductees into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. We know that this is a very special place in the city of Owen Sound, and we salute the athletes, the builders, and the teams being inducted here tonight. Congratulations, everyone. We especially want to thank the Owen Sound Sports Hall Committee for awarding our son Matthew an honored place in the Sports Hall of Fame and under the special merit category. It means so much to us, to our family, and certainly to Matt's many friends, teammates, colleagues, students, and acquaintances through his lifetime. And as we celebrate and remember Matt tonight, we also want to take a moment to remember the lives of Danica Baker, Cadence Ford, Rowan McLeod, and Olivia Rourke, who will remain in our hearts forever. As parents, we were always impressed by Matt's passion for sports and extremely proud of his achievements and accomplishments in the world of sports, as outlined in the Hall of Fame video this evening. And while we are very proud of his sports achievements and accomplishments, we're even more proud of the person that Matt became, a person whose many lives he touched in such a positive way. A teacher by profession, Matt's impact extended far beyond the classroom, stretching long after the final school bell. Matt was more than a school teacher. He was a coach, a mentor, a supporter, a morale booster, an accessible connection and a friend, a true inspiration to the students, the athletes, and peers that knew him. He was my cheerleader. Matt was a person you could count on, especially when you were struggling, because he understood it. The path to his classroom was well traveled to by more than just his students, and his level of personal support was well acknowledged through any given year. Our son Matthew, had that gift, the gift of always being there for somebody, being there to talk, being there to listen, and being there to help and assist whenever needed. It was with this in mind that David and I established the Matthew Eckert Charitable Gift Fund. And tonight, we, along with our family, Tegan, Kristen, and Caitlin, would like to ask that you consider supporting Matthew's charity.
Okay, I'm really nervous and ninny, but I'll try. The Matthew Eckert Charitable Gift Fund is dedicated to creating opportunities for youth and young adults in our region in the areas of sports, education, and mental well-being. To date, the campaigns and initiatives that Matthew's charity has supported include student leadership and mathematics scholarships at both Owen Sound District and Walkerton District secondary schools. In partnership with the Junior B North Stars, student athletic scholarships at Owen Sound District Secondary School, contributing to the United Way Grey Bruce backpack campaign and the community accessible playground that's being built at Alexandra Community School in Owen Sound. Furthermore, for the upcoming City of Owen Sound Hockey Fest in November, the Matthew Eckert Charitable Gift Fund has provided funding to present Canadian sporting legend Elizabeth Manley, who will be conducting a series of clinics and seminars. These sessions will certainly feature sporting memories, but more importantly, they will focus on mental health and overcoming obstacles and hurdles that young athletes and young people in general face in their day-to-day lives. This is what Matt this is what Matt was doing. You can support the Matthew Eckert Charitable Gift Fund in a variety of ways: cash, check, credit card. Plus, as with all other charities, you can take steps to directly donate Canadian securities to Matt's gift fund. I'd be pleased to meet with anybody and talk to them about the steps to do that and the benefits of doing it. On the tables this evening, you'll find information about the Matthew Eckert Charitable Gift Fund and how you can support Matt's legacy and assist with funds. You can also find information on the Matthew Eckert Charitable Fund Facebook. And maybe better still, Jennifer and I would be extremely grateful to speak with you in person tonight, following the inductions or in the days ahead. Please don't be shy and feel free to come speak with us. Once again, congratulations to all of the 2026 inductees into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. You're an impressive group. Plus, our deepest and most sincere thanks to the Hall of Fame committee for honoring our son Matt and creating space for him forever in the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. It means a lot to Jen and I. And finally, thank you all for your consideration of support for the Matthew Eckert Charitable Gift Fund. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Thanks to Jennifer, and thanks again to Dave. Was there a message from Rogers, John? The film is ready. Steve Brown is ready. Okay, are we going to roll that now, John? Is that the important message? Okay, all right. So now we're going to go back to the video for Steve Brown's thank you for his induction.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't be there with you all tonight, but if my day has gone as planned, I'm sound asleep in Amsterdam after touring the Heineken Brewery tonight. Would like to begin by extending a huge thank you to the committee for organizing tonight's festivities, and extend a huge congratulations as well to the fellow inductees. And a special thank you to my very good friend and no relation, Jeff Brown, for taking the time and thinking that I was deserving of this. He was the one that nominated me, which eventually has led to my induction. I want to start by giving you a little background. My journey into playing both hockey and slow pitch and actually organizing them started back when I was actually a kid. I was raised by a single mother who simply didn't have the resources for me and my siblings to play sports. I did own equipment. I had skates and a ball glove and whatnot, but never played anything remotely close to what you would call organized. One of the highlights of my childhood was the outdoor rink that the city used to build down at Harrison Field back in the day. As kids, we'd skate around for hours shooting pucks and then go home and pull the liners out of our Micron skates and put them over the floor register to thaw out. And that was how we spent our winters in Owen Sound back in the 70s. As a result, though, I didn't really get to truly experience the upsides of playing adult recreational sports. And I was actually in my 20s when I first got to join a ball team playing at the new Tom Williams Park, and then a hockey team up at the old Coliseum. And it didn't take long for me to get hooked on the structure, the competitiveness, but most importantly, the banter. And the next thing you know, I've literally jumped in with both feet. It's been over 30 years since those early days, and it's been super gratifying watching both the rec hockey and slow pitch grow to what it has here in Owen Sound. And I've met, hundreds of people through adult sports, and many have become lifelong friends. And I know there's others that definitely share in that sentiment. We all knew how much fun it was, looking forward to heading to the ball diamond or the rink to have laughs and maybe a few refreshments post-game. But I don't think we really appreciated how important it was for all of us until the global pandemic took it away. Our leagues didn't shut down completely. We were able to figure out how how to safely continue playing, pretty much for the mental aspect. People just needed to socialize. And again, that was kind of something that everyone had a little bit taken for granted. But we worked through it, and thankfully that is in the rearview mirror now. One of my favorite stories that I've told hundreds of times over the years is I do recall being up at the old Coliseum watching the first game, what we sometimes would do when we were getting ready to play the second game. And somebody was standing beside me, and I just said it was amazing and inspiring to me that Dana Saunders was still playing at age 45. And it's comical, and it seems a bit short-sighted now that I'm over 60 and still playing. But to me, that was an inspiration. I didn't know how old we would be when we had to hang up the skates and the ball glove. But anyway, this nomination and now the induction are a little bit overwhelming to me. In the moment, I certainly don't feel deserving, but looking back over the years, I am proud of the commitment and my involvement that I've made to both sports. But just as the teams being inducted tonight didn't achieve success on the back of one individual, neither did I. Like, over the years, there have been lots and lots of people involved who have done a ton of work behind the scenes and, giving me most of the glory and sometimes the grief for being the face of the leagues. In particular, I would like to acknowledge people like Martin Clark, Mark Osland, Kelvin Peters, Greg Noman, and most importantly, both Jeff Brown and Martin Desjardins. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention my good buddy, Tanny. Bruce Tannehill was there from day one back in 1995 when I asked him and Martin Clark to join me down at Shorty's. I had an idea about starting a brand new hockey league in Owen Sound where people didn't get to choose who they played with. We were going to do a draft. And Tanny was a really big part of that. And he did continue to play hockey and ball with us up until the year before he passed away. And I know he's looking down or possibly up and smiling with that big old smile that we all love. He would have loved for him to be able to see this ceremony tonight. Anyway, thanks again to everyone involved for putting this evening together. And congratulations to my fellow inductees. This is truly an honor that I never expected. Thank you.
And once again, in 2028, we'll all be on a cruise ship when we're doing this induction. So Steve Brown has set the table for us. We move to our final inductee category tonight, which is the team category. To induct our first team and welcome them to the Sports Hall, here's Dan Blackburn. Dan has the pleasure of welcoming the John Thompson Movers AA fastball team.
The John Thompson Movers fastball team played together from 1979 to 1983, a well-knit group always putting the game first. In 1981, the John Thompson Movers finished as the runners-up for provincial honors, being defeated by Toronto Drive. A year later, in 1982, they won the All-Ontario OASA Provincial Intermediate AA Championship, defeating the Toronto York Merchants. They also won the WOAA Major Open Softball Championship and the 1982 Scenic City Softball League, defeating Port Elgin. The members of the John Thompson Movers, coach Don Bruce, managers Al Long and Paul Furness. The players on the Movers were Harold Clark, Brian Murphy, Brad McElmoyle, Kim Grant, Craig Lidster, Dave Sackerty, Mickey Martin, Mike Garvey, Scott Graham, Jerry Simpson, Bob Stevenson, Steve Bell, Roger Watson, Terry Frook, Gary Watson, and the sponsor, of course, John Thompson. Congratulations to the 1982 John Thompson Movers fastball team.
Good evening, fellow athletes, inductees, family, and friends. We'd like to thank the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame Selection Committee for accepting and granting our nomination into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Truly a prestigious honor. Now we'd like to honor those members of our team who have passed away, all gone far too soon. Sponsor John Thompson, Coach Don Bruce, managers Al Long and Paul Furness, players Dave Sackerty, Bill Slumsky, Jerry Simpson, Harold Clark, and Bob Stevenson. Big thank you goes out to Roger Watson for getting this process started. And thanks to Craig Litzter for helping finalize everything. Craig was in Florida and I was in Peru. We were having a great time. Rogie says, how can you guys talk to us when you're that far away? But,
It was hard.
yeah. And to Sean Ringel and his wife for the expert help in getting the photo finished. And also to Mark Kazarian for his help and patience with our nomination. And last but not least, this bunch of misfits here, would like to thank Whitney and Gloria, Bruce, for for putting up with us. We were back at their place, Don and Gloria's place, and Whitney was growing up. At one time, Brucey said he was going to quit coaching because Whitney was at that age, and we talked him out of that, thinking that. But we used to go back to their house after every practice, every game, every tournament, and usually on any given weekend that we weren't on the ball field. Love you guys. So once again, on behalf of the 1982 Intermediate AA champions, John Thompson Movers ball team, thank you.
Not too bad. Good, buddy. Not bad. I could almost do it up. Mine doesn't. Yes, it is.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to the John Thompson Movers AA fastball team. Thank you to Mike. Mike, do you want a copy of your speech, or do we just leave it here? It's been a long time since I've seen one written in crayon, but that's very nice. Very nice. To welcome our next team into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame, please welcome Jane McIver. Jane is going to introduce the Owen Sound BDO Minor Atom hockey team.
The 1995-96 Owen Sound BDO minor hockey team won the OMHA Provincial Championship. That season, their record was 40 wins, 21 losses, and 5 ties. They were the finalists at the Regional Silver Stick Tournament, and after dropping 2 home games and splitting the first 4 games of the OMHA Minor Atom A Championship Series, the BDO squad broke out to a 6-0 lead and hung on to clinch the provincial championship with a 6-3 win over the Caledon Hawks in Bolton. Mark O'Leary led the way with a natural hat trick, and singles went to Chad Wanacott, Josh Olnick, and Greg MacArthur, with Darren Fraser tending goal and posting the victory. That victory took place in the team's 66th game of the season. Here are the 1995-96 Owen Sound BDO Minor Atoms. In the front row, left to right, Owen Ferguson, Mark Crone, Mike McLeod, Josh Olnick, Chase Amiot, Greg Hutchinson, and Darren Fraser. In the second row, Chris Carrier, Adam Christie, Mark O'Leary, Nathan Power, Chad Wanacott, and in the back row, Drew Ferguson, who was the manager and trainer, Scott Barker, Greg MacArthur, Wayne Hutchinson, the coach, Jeff Thomas, Tim Hurley, and Don McLeod, the assistant coach. Congratulations to the Fighting Accountants, the Owen Sound BDO Minor Atoms.
I want to thank everybody for being here this evening, and
I'd like to thank Bill Christie for actually nominating us. He's done a couple of times, I believe, and it's been 30 years, but I felt the team had a really good year and deserved some recognition, which we are getting tonight. Also, the players, for being 10 years old, this is 30 years ago, they put in a lot of commitment. As mentioned, we played 66 games that year, plus 2 practices a week. And then also, back in the day, we rode buses. So in order to pay for the buses, we worked bingos Friday night too. So the parents got to appreciate that. Friday night escapades down at the bingo hall, but it was worth it. I thought that it made a great team building effort by on the bus. It sure helped me as the coach to know who was going to be at the game before we even left the arena. Also, not everyone's able to be here tonight. Some have other commitments. Plus, we also lost a couple of our members, specifically as I mentioned, we lost a couple of members. Josh Olnick passed away July of 2009, and Don McLeod March of 2024. Very important part of our team that those fellows were, along with the other people that couldn't be here tonight. I'd also like to thank Drew Ferguson, being the manager trainer, who did an outstanding job behind the scenes. Sure made things a lot easier for me. Appreciate that, Drew. So anyway, these guys now are all the same age as what I was when we were coaching. And a few of them I haven't seen in a long time, so they almost need to wear name tags tonight because I didn't recognize some of them. Anyway, I'd like to thank you all very much and appreciate for being inducted.
They're telling me Montreal won, or is it over? 5-1. You better check your phone. I don't think there's something wrong. Just out of interest, I do have a quick note here before we move along. Because we have so many people here tonight, and because most of you are male, we've run out of toilet paper. So again, on behalf of the Bayshore, we're sorry. The good news is we put up a couple of Montreal jerseys in the men's can, so help yourselves. All right. Appropriate of nothing, please welcome Sharon McKechnie to make our next presentation. The next team to be invited into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame are the Scenic City Automotive Crunch fastball team.
The 2001 Eastern Canadian Championship team, the Scenic City Automotive Crunch, featured some of the best players in national fastball at the turn of the century. There were several All-Stars and Hall of Fame caliber players on their roster. The Scenic City Automotive Crunch was named by founder and the original sponsor, Craig Lidster, who owned Scenic City Automotive. That team eventually became known in fastball circles simply as the Crunch, and were formed in 1996 as a one-time tournament team. The Crunch played on a local level for 3 years, winning many tournaments and the 1997 Owen Sound Men's Fastball League title. The Scenic City Automotive Crunch, behind the pitching of Andy Jackson, Bill Medill, and Bev Underwood, went on a run in the 2001 Ontario Men's Elimination Tournament at Innerkip and qualified for the Eastern Canadian Championships, receiving a berth in the battle of the best intermediate teams in Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, and Newfoundland. The Crunch would play all of the teams there and came out as the gold medal winners, with pickup pitcher Scott Wager winning the top pitcher and Paul White winning the top batter award. Congratulations to the 2001 Scenic City Automotive Crunch.
I just want to thank the organizing committee tonight for putting on such a great event, and congratulations to everybody, all the other inductees. Dedicated people in our community, it's truly an honor to join the names that have been up there tonight. To the builders and volunteers that got inducted tonight, a special thank you to you, because without any of you in whatever sport you do, none of us exist. So thank you to you. So the Crunch team began in the mid-90s. We ran for about 10 years. We started, as Fred said, a local intermediate quasi-beer league team. And it evolved into something else. We had world-class players eventually wear the uniform. Some of them in the Hall of Fame, Softball Canada. And we had a lot of experiences, some great times as a group. But the true culture and the foundation of the Crunch has always been about the local guys. The names and faces that you see here today and you've heard, they all had an opportunity to play, compete, and win at some of the highest levels of the game and creating lifetime memories. So as the years passed us by, the scores become harder to remember. The stories got a lot bigger. We all threw the ball a little harder. The home runs traveled a little farther, but the memories never changed. They just are strong as ever. I know there's a few of us up here that we solved a lot of problems in the Duncan McClellan parking lot as the lights went out and we closed the gate behind us. But we do remember our pitching. Billy Medill, Andy Jackson, Bev Underwood, and Scott Wager left everything on the mound for us that year. Tony Lisk hitting an incredible .500 batting average in the playoff round. Paul White winning the top batter award. But in the end of it all, it took every single person standing up here to be part of the qualifying round, contributing to help the team bring home a gold medal in Prince Edward Island. All of that under the guidance of Scott Baker and Rob White, who pulled the strings, making decisions along the way, and led the team to a gold medal. But most importantly, the team you see being honored, it was more than a ball team. It became a group of lifelong friends, share memories, we share experiences. We're all still connected to this day, and it's a bond that will never be broken. We do want to recognize, very rarely you have multiple inductees, and a special thanks to, and Mike Garvey wore a Crunch uniform way back in the day. Ryan Thompson, part of our team. Tom White, and without this gentleman, there wouldn't have been a Crunch. Our founder, our only sponsor, and our original catcher, Craig Lister. So I want to recognize three gentlemen that are no longer with us. Tim Woods, an early member of the Crunch, a tremendous competitor, and a true gentleman. Bev Underwood, an important part of our team, all along the way that helped to get this team to where they got to, and a true friend. And Bill Fairman, one of the most talented athletes many of us have ever saw, regardless of the game he chose to play, whatever given weekend it was. a great friend, one of the most talented athletes we've ever all been around. And hopefully there's a picture of Billy on that stage someday. They were all great ball players, will always be part of the Crunch family, and they will be truly missed. But in closing, I may be a little biased here. It is about friends and memories like this, and that is what makes fastball the greatest game there is. I want to thank everyone for all being here tonight, giving the Crunch team one more memory, and for allowing us the honor of joining all of you tonight. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again to the Scenic City Automotive Crunch on being inducted as a team into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Our final team to be inducted tonight will be welcomed to the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame by Bill Simpson. Please welcome Bill. Bill's a little distraught tonight with Montreal winning, but that's all right, Bill. They haven't won the Cup since '93, so don't worry, it's not going to happen this year. Fittingly, Bill, with his fastball background, is going to welcome the Shallow Lake U19 fastball team.
The Shallow Lake Under-19 Sting won the 2019 Softball Canada U19 Canadian Fastball Championship, winning it at Duncan McClellan Park in Owen Sound. The tournament was hosted by Owen Sound Fast Pitch. They qualified for the Canadian Championship through the OASA U19 Elimination Tournament, which was in Carp, Ontario in June of 2019, and placed second at the OASA A Provincial Championships in Woodstock in July of 2019. They won the 2019 Softball Canada U19 Men's Fastball Championship in Owen Sound, defeating Delisle Pride from Saskatchewan 14-2 in the championship game. In the round-robin portion of that tournament, they tied for first place with 7 wins and only 1 loss. However, the Sting lost their first game of the championship round to Belmore by a score of 8-5. That loss meant that the Sting would need to win 4 games in a row to win the title. They won 11-4 over Newfoundland on Saturday night to move on to Championship Sunday at Duncan McClellan Park. On that Sunday, they defeated Kitchener-Waterloo 4-3 and the Belmore Sting 6-4 to advance to the championship game. Ironically, the gold medal game against Delisle was a repeat of the 2016 U16 championship game and included many of the same players in that game. The final score again for the Shallow Lake Sting, 14-2 over Delisle, Saskatchewan to win the Canadian Championship. Here are the Sting. In the front row, Waylon Gregg, the Bat Boy. In the second row, from left to right, Ty Boyd, Austin McComb, William DeBoer, Ethan Smith, Owen Torrey, and Mitch McComb. In the back row from left to right, Chris McComb, one of their coaches, Joe Howell, another coach, Matthew Weiler, Robbie Black, Clay Dolbear, Curtis Roots, Wade Kiagishig, Matthew Lawrence, Riley Torrey, Walker Lyons, Trent Huey, who was a coach, and Rod Gilbert, also a coach. Missing from our photo was Nick Ford, who's a coach, and Melissa McComb, who was the team manager. Congratulations to the 2019 Shallow Lake Sting.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Just bear with me. I'm not much for the public speaking. First of all, good evening. I'm Chris McComb, coach of the Shallow Lake Sting. Before I introduce our teams, I'd like to congratulate all the inductees, first of all. It's an honor to be able to be here and share this night with you. And a few quick thanks. Thank you to the Hall of Fame, of course, for hosting and making it such a special evening for everyone. Thank you to the Simpsons for bringing Canadians to Owen Sound again. It's very special to be able to win Canadians, but it's incredible to win it in front of your own hometown fans and family and friends. Speaking of hometown, thanks Fred Wallace for announcing the games. Your legendary voice, sports knowledge, and humor can change the atmosphere at the ballpark. In fact, I swear that some of the fans just came here to listen to you, Fred. Thanks, Trent Huey, for saying yes to assistant coach. Your devotion and commitment to this team was a huge part in their success, and I couldn't have done it without you. Nick Ford, assistant coach. Tricky Nicky. Nick has a great passion for the game and a true asset to our team. Ron Gilbert came with us. He had true expertise in coaching, and he also had a coaching certificate we needed. And he was instrumental in one of our big games for sure, with one of his tricks, which I'll talk about. This team, thanks to my wife, Melissa, for managing the team. She's been the manager since 2013. And although it can be a thankless job, you still did it and you did it well. If there's any other coaches out here that has your wife as a manager, well, I'll just leave it at that. It can be stressful. Randy Torrey, Bruce DeBoer, you guys were always behind the scenes helping the team out as well, and a big part of it. Very proud of this team for their accomplishments, and what made this team so special was how everybody contributed in one way or another. We set goals, and although they seemed to get further away sometimes, you guys pulled together and made it happen. You guys created unforgettable memories for us coaches, parents, fans, and I hope you cherish them and remember them forever. Mel and I were going through the old write-ups, and it made us laugh at times. It made me quickly realize that it's not about the stats, the averages, or the scores of the games. It's the journey getting there and all the memories that we create along the way. At the beginning of the season, you guys were just teammates, but by the end of the season, you guys created a bond with each other and a friendship that lasts forever. I'm sure your friendship will expand tonight after the Hall of Fame when you guys hit the bar. An unforgettable time for this team was eliminations in Carp. We were able to get a few games in before it poured buckets, then it hailed, then a tornado hit. It was total chaos. Luckily, nobody got hurt. The next day, they were able to get it cleaned up. There was a pile of wrecked tents and chairs, and somehow they got the diamonds so we could play again. So on Sunday, we were up against our nemesis, Belmore, and in the fifth inning, a tornado hit again. The two of our players got ejected, and we had to forfeit the game. We didn't know if we made the cut to Canadians. We were deflated and in disbelief. Finally, the OESA conveners made their decisions, and we were in Canadians. What seemed to take an eternity, but we were there, and we got the hell out of Carp. Canadians were here in Owen Sound, and we were ready to go. It was comprised of 12 teams that year, and it was a good showing for all the provinces. I remember our team showed up. I didn't see nervousness. I seen determination. We had our full squad. We had 2 pickups from a limbs, and these 2 pickups were the final piece of the puzzle that our team needed. We went 7-1 opening round, and our first playoff round game was, guess who, Belmore. We lost 8-5, and had to take the long way around. Lucky for our guys, we were comfortable taking the long way around. That's what we wanted. Sunday morning, we got by Kitchener barely, and then we met Belmore again. Belmore definitely had our number this year, and we were up 3-1 with 6 outs to go, and still no sign of urgency from our guys, no sign of nervousness on our bench. I remember saying to Coach Trent, do these guys even know that we're losing? And that's when Ron Gilbert came in, and he said, do you mind if I do something? And I said, go at her, Ron. And the boys had all their bats lined up. You know, everybody's got a $500 bat these days. And Ron cleared them right off the benches. And everybody's looking at him like, what was that all about? And Ron said, I'm just waking them up. And the next inning, he woke them up. The Belmore pitcher loaded the bases. Matt Weiler hit a grand slam. And the same inning, Clay Dobert hit one over the road at Duncan Major. It was the longest ball I've ever seen. And that sealed the deal. End of Belmore. It was very special for our guys to beat Belmore because one of our guys here, Curtis, he was cut from Belmore. And when he asked to play for us, I said, yeah, you're on, Curtis. So it was a special moment. The finals against Dulcie Pride, Saskatchewan was at 3. They had the best record, and they were a scary team. They only lost one game, though, and that was to us. So I think we had their name, too, and their number. And we went ahead in the third, and we never looked back. Wade Kiwagishik had a grand slam, and we merced them 14-2. And nobody there seen that coming in the gold medal game. Owen Torrey started every game on Sunday, and he earned the tournament MVP. He had Ty Boyd behind him to close the games, and we had the best right-handers and the best left-hander in the tournament. Clay Dobert earned Tournament All-Star. And these guys were just a very special group. The last memory the team had that tournament was Bat Boy Waylon Gregg. The guys were in the circle and they threw them 10 feet up in the air. Greg Cowan took the picture and posted it in the Sun-Times and put it in the front page. Children's Aid was at my house the next day. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for the incredible season, you guys. Unfortunately, every journey must have an end. But it's the journey that matters in the end. Thanks for the memories. Congratulations for being inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Once again, everybody, congratulations to the Shallow Lake U19 Sting fastball team. Congratulations. As Coach Chris said, the Sting are now going to head to the bar, but you better get going because the Crunch have a 25-year head start on you. So it's the voice of experience. That concludes all of our inductions into the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. Again, we thank you for being here tonight. We remind you there will be another induction in 2028. Nomination forms are always available at City Hall. I'm sure everybody sitting here knows of somebody that deserves or should be in the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame, and it's a relatively simple process. The committee does not do the nominations. It's up to you as the general public. So again, think about it. Think about who deserves a spot in the Owen Sound Sports Hall of Fame. To the committee, congratulations on a very active and very special night. Good night, everybody. Thanks for being here.